Okay, so our assignment is to do a prose fiction analysis of the Langston Hughes story, Thank You, Man. The story is about Roger who steals from the old lady, Mrs. Jones, on the street. Instead of punishing him, Mrs. Jones takes him home and washes him and gives him new clothes. And while at his apartment, he's faced with several choices, which the story kind of is about.
Our opinion is that Mrs. Jones is a protagonist in the novel since she's the one being described and she's leading the action of the story. Roger just goes around in her footsteps and does what he's told.
We also believe that Roger is a stereotype because he's poor and dirty and he's forced to steal on the street, and it's quite stereotypical for kids in those days. And Mrs. Jones takes him in and washes him and gives him new clothes, which forces him to bond. He wants to bond with Mrs. Jones now, and he wants to trust her and be trusted. And he doesn't want to steal anymore at that point. So he's changed his character. He's become dynamic. So in our opinion, he's gone from being a stereotype to becoming dynamic.
At a point in the story, Roger is faced with a conflict. When Mrs. Jones leaves the room, he's faced with the choice between fleeing or staying to see what happens. He stays likely because he has nowhere else to go, and because Mrs. Jones acts as a mother figure for him. Despite both of them coming from a lower social class, Mrs. Jones still takes Roger in and cares for him.
We believe this leads to the message of a form of love thy neighbor, like the Bible verse. It is that you have to care for the weaker ones and take them in, even though you're not yourself that strongly placed in society.